hits the slime on the grass there, and bang, thanks very much, the panel beater's dream.
And of course last year we had Nigel Mansell go off on that corner, so he's at least staying up there with some of the stars. But the stars are out there racing. They've got the first of their 5 laps coming around now. We're waiting for them to really get into it. These cars here are very, very fast. Look, they're using the ripple strips, and they're using just about every inch of the road. Now, this is going to be the interesting point when they come down the straight and they face the hairpin, the 180 degree for the first time, Darryl.
Sure is, and this is where it tests you out, because you build up all of that speed on the straight and you've got to get rid of it pretty quickly as they hit that corner, and there's just been a light drizzle of rain, so everything a little bit slippery, and Knopfler paid the price for that one as the cars stream through there. There's Peter Bartels, of course, he will be penalised a minute, so forget what he's doing. Greg Norman's well placed at the moment in the red car, looking good. He's running about third as they weave their way through, and look at the different lines that the drivers are taking. Some are using all of the road, some of it, well, I think they've just got their eyes closed and praying.
Dwayne ties into the lead as they get set to come around for the end of the first lap. It'll be interesting. Ambulance, by the way, has been called for Mark Knopfler. We hope that it isn't serious, but of course that is exactly what they have to do. But he's still in the car. He slammed right into the cement wall there, hasn't he? And taken the full impact. But Twice leads down the straight, Bartel second, and the rest of the team has started to string out. But we'll get more of a battle towards the back of the field as they come down, and they've gone past the checkered flag for the first time.
I think Greg Norman's the story here. He's really starting to get his act together, bouncing off the ripple strip there as he's chasing Ties. Ties, of course, Australia's champion Ironman for the last 2 years. Peter Bartels, forget about it. Greg Norman there getting a little wave as he comes around.
Dwayne Ties has showed very, very fine form in practice, along with Greg Norman. As a matter of fact, the instructors have said that Greg Norman's one of the most natural motor racers that they had seen. He's taken some lessons from Mario Andretti, even driven an Indianapolis car recently.
Well, Mark Knopfler, of course, out of the race, but Peter Bartels, who jumped the starters with a big slide.
Look at Dwayne Ties comes around.
But we've had the official flag come out that Peter Bartels has been penalised a minute, as we said from the start. And there's Mark Knopfler now out of the car. He looks okay, a little groggy, of course. It's a pretty frightening thing to hit a wall, and he hit it pretty hard. But they'll take him down to the medical centre and check him out, and he should be okay. His ego would be a little bit bruised, and let's hope that there is nothing seriously wrong with him. And it's well, he won't forget the Adelaide Grand Prix for a while as the cars now stream up into some power, using all of the ripple strips there, and Greg Norman starting to peg back that lead a little bit of Dwayne Ties. As I said, twice Australian Ironman champion. He is from South Australia and not very well known outside this state.
Dwayne Ties, as a matter of fact, he's the guy that is really starting to string out the field. Of course, Bartels has penalised a minute, so don't take any notice of him running second. But Greg Norman is a little bit of a slip and slide, and he's used more than the ripple strip there. The idea with these cars is to stay on the line as much as possible. If you use the ripple strip, you're going to throw them out of balance. Remember that they are basically a road car, a high-performance one at that. They're front-wheel drive, and you've got to be very careful, particularly with this moisture in the air.
Okay, so the car's making their way down to the straight, and we'll take a break and we'll come back to the personality race at the Australian Grand Prix shortly. Our telecast at the Australian Grand Prix out of Adelaide. You're watching the celebrity race. Let's go through the top 6 for you. Dwayne Ties in car 11 is first. Peter Bartels in 24 is second, but has been penalised a minute for jumping the start. Greg Norman, the golfer, is in third spot in car 2. Ash, who is an actor here in Australia, in 4 and 4. He's in spot 4. A. Dale is in 10, another actor, and we've got another Australian rules player. He's in 6th place. There we go. All right, and cars slipping and sliding all around the track.
And they're actually taking lines. They're using a circuit that doesn't even exist here at Adelaide, Darryl. And of course, Aish is one of the leading footballers here locally, and I'm going to say that Jim Murcott will be jumping on them. He's the instructor for these drivers. They've spent something like 8,000 kilometres going all the way out there. Well, let's have a look as they come down the straight, and there's one backwards. It's certainly not the way to park yourself here. That's car number 9, and that's Mike Hilliard. And he's in a very, very precarious position because that's right just in very close to the racing line, Darryl.
Yeah, it was bad luck too because he started third off the grid. He's been driving quite all right. Obviously cooked it a bit hard, and he's really letting some tyre smoke. Of course, these cars are front-wheel drive, and that's why he's getting the smoke pouring off the front of the car. And this is a little bit, oh, as another one goes over the ripple strips, but this is something the drivers have got to contend with because the front-wheel drive cars are very difficult round corners if you're not used to them.
And that's Greg Norman. He's trying everything to get past Bartels. He's very smooth. He's been listening to the instructors, and he's a very determined man. As a matter of fact, he's been classed as one of the most natural in this group. But Dwayne Tyers is still up there in the lead, and officially it would be Greg Norman second, although Bartels is holding him back. Just look at him work at that wheel as he approached the corner into the straight, and here they come again. But he got Norman's been pushed off there, and he's had to go right up on the ripple strip as they get set to come down to the straight. And I think that's put paid to his chances as far as trying to get Dwayne Tyers, because Tyers has really decided that it's his race. Bartels has decided to hold everybody back, and at the same time push people like Greg Norman off the circuit. But Bartels has used everything.
Bartels is driving like a dead-set Sydney cab driver. I don't believe it. He's forgotten about the track. He's all over the place, and of course he is out of contention with a minute penalty. Right, it's Dane Tyers now, and he's really putting the pressure on. And Greg Norman, who had a pretty brave attempt downstairs, trying to do it from the bottom of the straight, came out. Alan Dale now is looking pretty good, so let's have a look at it now as Dwayne Tyers comes around. Greg Norman desperately trying to get round Dale, but he can't do it. As you can see, really working on the wheel there, trying to get the car lined up and balanced properly to get the power down in this section to try and make up the distance. Well, Bartels has decided he's going to get all the kudos today. He jumped the start, and he's gone quite berserk in this race. He's used every part of the circuit that's not official.
Michael Aish, Alan Dale, and then Greg Norman trying to make up the placings. He was running second, but Greg, of course, had trouble getting into the straight. They're on their last lap now. Bartels is still holding the field back, but in the meantime, he's doing the job for Dwayne Tyers. They must be talking about some sponsorship, I reckon, for the future.
Well, it'll be interesting to see now. This is the chance now for Norman, if he's going to make any distance up down this straight under brakes, Ken.
And there's no chance at the moment as far as him ever catching Dwayne Tyers or the rest of the field. But you see, Bartels is holding it right through the straight, but Michael Aish is trying all the time to weave past him. He caught the toe, but Bartels has chopped him off again. This is going to be an interesting corner, and Bartels go right across the front of Aish. He's knocked his racing line up, and Bartels is still holding them up. He's decided, if I can't win it, if I can't do anything, I'm definitely going to hog the camera for the rest of this race. In the meantime, where's our leader? He is streets away.
I can't believe it. Bartels should be penalised for life. Talk about
he must think he's still in his 930 Turbo Porsche, because he's decided that there's the checkered flag coming out for Dwayne Tyers, and Dwayne is at least, he's the full length of the straight, as a matter of fact, further than that from the other cars as they start to stream into the corner, make the right-hander into the straight. Bartels, who's held them up, and look at the race for the line here between second and third. That's Aish and Dale going for it. Norman is trying again to make a go for it, and they cross the line right now. But Norman couldn't do it. It's unfortunate. Aish has held out Dale and beat it. Bartels goes down in history as being the biggest hold-up person since Ned Kelly here in Australia, I'd say. Well, should we have been in there, Darryl?
I think I'm glad we were. Okay, so that's it. The personality race. Dwayne Tyers, a local boy, and he always seems to perform so well on his home turf.
Look at Bartels. He's even waving to the crowd, saying, look what I've done, folks. Still, I suppose when you consider it is the Foster's Formula One Australian Grand Prix, and he's decided to take the sponsorship all the way. But I think the cars performed very well. There's the official placings. Dwayne Tyers first, Michael Aish second, Alan Dale third, Greg Norman fourth, Peter O'Brien fifth, and a very good drive from Glenn Shorrock. He was a determined young man, and of course, he's another one of the local lads, and Adelaide has certainly won out.
We'll take a break now from the Australian Grand Prix, and we'll be back shortly with more big action.
Hi, I'm Gerhard Berger, Formula One racing driver from Benetton Formula One team. Steve is right world of sports for the 1986 Australian Formula One Grand Prix.
Adelaide for the Australian Formula One Grand Prix coming your way this afternoon, live on 9, and what a great afternoon that promises to be. I've just come in from the celebrity race, where, as you saw earlier, Mark Knopfler had a real bit of bad luck coming around that first corner. There he is, Greg Norman, who took the wide way home and subsequently suffered in performance. But there again, it's about the first sporting event he's lost for a long time. Pat Lindsay is with him.
I made it! Thanks, Mike. Greg, what an experience.
Oh, big buzz, big buzz. I was doing really good until fourth lap. I was lying second, and I just lost it coming in here a little bit, and two guys got inside me. But, you know, I did pretty good for not driving the track before.
That's right, you had a bit of bad luck getting here late.
Never had any practice, so I was happy with it.
Did you see Mark Knopfler's crash?
Oh God, yeah, I saw him hit the wall. I was watching him, and God, I could just see him going hit, and he hit the driver's side too. So I hope he's all right. I think Peter Bartels actually threw everybody off because he was halfway down the straight before the green light came on, and you know, I think everybody was gone then, and I think Mark tried to catch him and forgot the corner was there and just went right into it.
Does this give you a new respect for these guys in Formula One?
I tell you what, I admire these guys. I mean, I know our cars aren't designed to really race, but whew, what a buzz, man.
Great work. Congratulations again. Back to you now, Mike.
There he is, the Shark, who is still high on the fumes. And as soon as we get a check on Mark Knopfler's condition, we'll bring it to you. He did take a bit of a knock to the head when he collected that wall. Okay, well, when you